Buddy Holly may look cute with his signature glasses, but he's a fiery rebel with his own rules. Did you know this? As the all-American rock and roll poster boy, it's no surprise that Buddy Holly is widely known and celebrated. He is even more famous now than when he died 36 years ago in a plane crash. Why? That's because Buddy fans recently discovered dark secrets in his life, including that tragic accident in 1959. Let's start the video now to discover things you don't know about Buddy Holly. Charles Hardin Holly, who would later be known famously as Buddy Holly, was born on September 7, 1936, in the vibrant city of Lubbock, Texas. His entry into the world was into a family where music was not just entertainment, but a part of their daily lives. His parents, Lawrence and Ella Holly, could never have predicted that their fourth child would grow to become a pivotal figure in the history of American music. The Holly household was modest, far from the trappings of wealth. Lawrence Holly earned a living as a tailor, a profession requiring precision and creativity, traits that would echo in his son's musical career. Ella Holly, a dedicated stay-at-home mom, played a crucial role in nurturing the family's domestic life. Music was a central pillar in Buddy's upbringing. The Holly family gatherings often turned into jam sessions where everyone participated, creating a lively and collaborative atmosphere. This environment was crucial in shaping Buddy's early understanding and appreciation of music. It was here, in the warmth of family and the joy of shared tunes, that Buddy's musical journey took root. Buddy's two older brothers, who were already skilled in playing the guitar, became his first teachers in the world of music. They introduced him to the basics of the guitar, an instrument that would later become synonymous with Buddy Holly himself. These early lessons, taught in the spirit of familial bonding and a shared love for music, laid the foundation for what would become a groundbreaking career in music. As Buddy Holly entered his high school years, his passion for music had grown from a familial pastime into a deep, personal calling. During this transformative period, rock and roll was emerging as a cultural phenomenon, capturing the imagination of the youth across America, and Buddy was at the forefront of this wave of change. The new, electrifying sound of rock and roll resonated with him profoundly, and he found himself drawn to its revolutionary energy and style. One of the most significant influences on young Buddy during this time was Elvis Presley, the undisputed king of rock and roll. Elvis's unique blend of rhythm and blues with country music, coupled with his charismatic performance style, left an indelible mark on Buddy. He was captivated by Elvis's groundbreaking musical approach and dynamic stage presence, which played a pivotal role in shaping his own musical identity. For Buddy, music was not just a pastime or an interest, it became the essence of his being. He viewed music as his life's calling, a path he was destined to follow. This conviction led him to forge a partnership with his childhood friend, Bob Montgomery. Together, they formed a musical duo known as Buddy and Bob. Their collaboration was rooted in a shared passion for music and a deep understanding of each other's strengths and styles. Buddy and Bob started performing at local events in and around Lubbock, Texas. Their performances, characterized by a blend of country and rock and roll influences, quickly caught the attention of the local community. They were especially popular among their peers, resonating with the youthful energy and excitement of the burgeoning rock and roll scene. Buddy Holly's path toward stardom was fraught with challenges and setbacks, a testament to the often unpredictable journey of a musical career. Initially, Buddy ventured into the world of bluegrass music, joining a bluegrass band for a short period. This experience, while brief, was significant in his musical evolution, exposing him to a different genre and expanding his musical repertoire. However, Buddy's heart was set on carving out his unique sound, one that would resonate more deeply with his rock and roll inclinations. In his quest to find this distinctive sound, Buddy began experimenting with various musical styles and elements. He started recording his own music, hoping to make an impact in the burgeoning rock and roll scene. Despite his talent and passion, these early recordings did not gain much traction. They failed to create the kind of noise or receive the attention he had hoped for in the competitive music industry. This period was marked by a sense of longing and frustration for Buddy, as he yearned for an opportunity to showcase his true potential. The much-awaited break came when a talent scout from Decca Records, a prominent record label at the time, noticed Buddy's talent. This opportunity was a turning point, offering him a chance to record with a major label. Filled with hope and determination, Buddy embarked on this new chapter with Decca Records. However, the journey with Decca was far from smooth. Buddy engaged in a series of recording sessions under the label's guidance, but the results were less than stellar. The recordings did not capture the essence of Buddy's unique style or resonate with a wider audience. Consequently, Decca Records, unimpressed with the outcomes, decided not to renew his contract. This decision could have been a devastating blow to many aspiring artists, signaling the end of their musical aspirations. The setback with Decca Records was a significant moment in Buddy Holly's career, but it did not quench his musical aspirations. Returning to his hometown of Lubbock, Texas, he was determined to continue his pursuit of musical success. It was here, in familiar surroundings, that Buddy laid the foundation for what would become a defining phase of his career. He formed a new band, the Crickets, a decision that marked the beginning of an iconic chapter in rock and roll history. The Crickets were not just a band. They were a fusion of talents, styles, and aspirations. The group's composition brought together musicians who shared Buddy's passion and vision for a new kind of sound. This sound was a unique blend of rock and roll with a hint of country twang, a combination that was both fresh and familiar to the American public. It was this innovative and appealing style that would become the hallmark of the Crickets' music. Their breakthrough came with the release of That'll Be the Day, a song that would propel Buddy Holly and the Crickets to national fame. The inspiration for this song came from an unlikely source, a phrase uttered by John Wayne in the classic Western movie The Searchers. This phrase, seemingly ordinary, sparked creativity in Buddy, leading to the creation of a track that was both catchy and relatable. That'll Be the Day was a departure from the conventional music of the time. Its unique sound, characterized by Buddy's distinct vocal style and the band's innovative instrumental arrangements, struck a chord with the public. The song's blend of rock and roll rhythms with country influences appealed to a broad audience, transcending traditional genre boundaries. The impact of That'll Be the Day was immediate and profound. It rapidly climbed the charts, eventually reaching the top, and established Buddy Holly and the Crickets as major players in the music scene. The success of this single was more than just a commercial triumph. It was a validation of Buddy's belief in his musical vision. It demonstrated his ability to not only navigate the challenges of the music industry, but to innovate within it, creating a sound that was both revolutionary and enduringly popular. The song's triumph was just the beginning of a series of hits that would cement their place in rock and roll history. Among these were Peggy Sue and Oh Boy, each showcasing the band's unique sound and Buddy's exceptional songwriting skills. Peggy Sue, with its catchy melody and innovative drumming, and Oh Boy, with its infectious energy and rhythm, resonated with audiences across the country. These songs further showcased the distinct elements that made the Crickets' music stand out: Buddy's expressive vocal style and his pioneering approach to guitar playing. His guitar work, characterized by a combination of rhythm and lead styles, was innovative for its time and became a defining feature of the band's sound. The Crickets' rise in popularity led to appearances on major national television shows, significantly amplifying their reach and influence. Shows like The Ed Sullivan Show and American Bandstand were cultural institutions, and their feature on these platforms was a testament to the band's growing stature in the music industry. These appearances were not just performances. They were moments that etched the band into the collective consciousness of the American public. On these shows, audiences across the nation witnessed the charisma and talent of Buddy Holly and the Crickets, further solidifying their place in the pantheon of rock and roll greats. The impact of the Crickets' music extended beyond commercial success and public acclaim. They inspired a generation of young musicians who saw in Buddy Holly a new kind of rock and roll icon. His innovative songwriting, which blended storytelling with a unique musical style, and his groundbreaking performance techniques set a new standard in the genre. Buddy's approach to music making, which involved experimenting with different sounds and defying conventional music norms, resonated with aspiring artists. He was not just a performer, but a trailblazer who opened new pathways in rock and roll music. Buddy Holly and the Crickets transcended the typical trajectory of a popular music band of their era. They didn't just produce chart-topping hits. They crafted songs that would stand the test of time and become ingrained in the fabric of popular culture. Songs like Rave On and Maybe Baby are prime examples of this. These tracks didn't just climb the charts. They became anthems for a burgeoning youth culture, capturing the spirit and energy of a generation coming of age in the late 1950s. One of the defining aspects of their music was the innovative blending of genres. The Crickets' sound was a pioneering mix of rock, rhythm, and blues and country. This fusion was something new and exciting, marking a departure from the more segregated music styles of the time. Rave On showcased the energetic and raw essence of rock and roll, while Maybe Baby embodied a melodious blend that resonated with a wide audience. These songs, with their catchy hooks and relatable lyrics, encapsulated the feelings and attitudes of a generation seeking to define itself. However, it was Buddy Holly's songwriting prowess that truly set him apart from his contemporaries. In an era where many artists relied on songs written by others, Buddy stood out as a prolific songwriter. He wrote most of his own material, a rarity among leading musicians of that time. This ability to craft songs endowed his music with a personal touch and authenticity that deeply connected with his audience. His lyrics were not just words set to music, they were expressions of his own experiences, thoughts, and emotions, making them more relatable and impactful. Buddy's songwriting was characterized by a combination of simple, catchy melodies and thoughtful, often poignant lyrics. He had a unique talent for distilling complex emotions and situations into songs that were both easy to understand and deeply resonant. This skill was evident in hits like Every Day and Not Fade Away, where the lyrical content, combined with memorable melodies, created songs that were both easy to sing along to and rich in meaning. Buddy Holly's personal life took a significant turn when he met Maria Elena Santiago, marking the beginning of a brief but profound chapter in his life. Their encounter happened in a setting deeply intertwined with his career, a music publishing company where Maria Elena worked. This meeting wasn't just a crossing of paths, it was a moment of instant connection, a love at first sight that swiftly blossomed into a deep bond between them. Their whirlwind romance led to a swift decision to marry, a testament to the intensity of their feelings for each other. Just 2 months after they met, Buddy and Maria Elena exchanged vows, embarking on a new journey together. This union brought a new kind of joy and fulfillment to Buddy's life, offering him a sense of personal happiness alongside his professional successes. However, this happiness was short-lived. Tragically, their newlywed bliss was marred by a heartbreaking event. Maria Elena suffered a miscarriage, a loss that was compounded by the overwhelming stress and shock following Buddy's sudden and untimely death. This sequence of events added a layer of profound sorrow to an already tragic circumstance. Buddy Holly's death on February 3, 1959, was not just a loss for Maria Elena but a seismic event in the world of music. His passing, alongside fellow musicians Ritchie Valens and J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson in a plane crash, was a moment that would forever alter the landscape of rock and roll. This day, later memorialized as the day the music died, marked the end of a burgeoning era and the loss of one of its brightest stars. The circumstances leading up to Buddy's death are filled with minor details and decisions that, in retrospect, seem hauntingly significant. The choice to travel by plane, influenced by the desire to minimize the exhausting travel of a grueling tour schedule, was one such decision. The small choices made in the days and moments leading up to the flight have been scrutinized and discussed extensively, as they culminated in a tragic event that not only ended the lives of three talented musicians, but also had a profound impact on the music industry and its fans. The Winter Dance Party Tour of 1959, featuring Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson, was an ambitious musical endeavor, trekking across the harsh winter landscape of the Midwest. However, the reality of the tour was far from glamorous. The musicians, along with their entourage, faced grueling travel conditions that took a significant toll on everyone involved. One of the most challenging aspects of the tour was the inadequate transportation. The tour bus they were using was ill-equipped for the severe winter conditions, lacking proper heating and insulation. This led to extremely uncomfortable and even hazardous situations, with one of the tour members suffering from frostbite, a serious condition caused by exposure to freezing temperatures. Exasperated by the relentless discomfort of the bus rides and the toll it was taking on the group's health and morale, Buddy Holly made a decision that would forever change the course of music history. He chose to charter a small plane to fly to their next tour stop in Moorhead, Minnesota, hoping to provide a quicker and more comfortable travel option. The decision of who would accompany Buddy on the plane was subject to a series of coincidences and last-minute changes, adding a poignant note of fate to the tragedy. Initially, a seat on the plane was reserved for Waylon Jennings, a member of Buddy's band. However, in a gesture of kindness, Jennings gave up his seat to J.P. Richardson, who was battling the flu and needed a more comfortable way to travel. Ritchie Valens, young and relatively new to the whirlwind life of a touring musician, had never flown on a small plane before. Despite feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety about the experience, he was eager to join Buddy on the flight. The decision for Valens to be on the plane was made through a coin toss, a spur-of-the-moment choice that sealed his fate. Valens won the seat in this flip of a coin against Tommy Allsup, another band member. The tragic plane crash that claimed the lives of Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, J.P. the Big Bopper, Richardson, and the pilot, Roger Peterson, was a confluence of inexperience, unfortunate circumstances, and bad weather. Roger Peterson, only 21 years old at the time, was a young pilot with a level of eagerness that perhaps outweighed his experience, especially in handling adverse weather conditions. On the fateful night of February 3, 1959, the flight departed from Mason City, Iowa. The journey was anticipated to be short, ferrying the musicians to their next tour stop. However, shortly after takeoff, in the darkness and under challenging weather conditions, the plane tragically spiraled out of control and crashed into a cornfield. The impact was catastrophic and instantaneous, leaving no survivors. The aftermath of the crash was as somber as the event itself. The wreckage lay undetected until the following morning, obscured by a blanket of snow that had fallen over the crash site. The discovery of the crash the next day added a chilling finality to the tragedy, marking a profound and irreversible loss in the world of music. The emotional impact of this event reverberated far beyond the factual details and technicalities of the aviation accident report, which cited a combination of poor weather conditions and pilot error as the cause of the crash. The news of the crash sent shockwaves through the music industry and its fan base, deeply affecting those who admired and were inspired by the artists. The enormity of this tragedy was later immortalized by singer Don McLean in his iconic song, American Pie. McLean referred to the event as the day the music died, a phrase that poignantly encapsulated the sense of loss felt by the music world and fans alike. This term has since become universally recognized, symbolizing not just the loss of three talented musicians, but also the end of an era in rock and roll history. While many fans remember Buddy Holly for his clean-cut boy-next-door image, there was another side to him that was less visible to the public eye. Holly possessed a strong-willed and independent streak, particularly when it came to his music and artistic expression. In an era when artists often had minimal control over their creative output, with record labels dictating the direction and production of their music, Holly stood out as a defiant force. One of the most significant manifestations of this rebellious spirit was his relationship with Decca Records. Frustrated by the creative constraints imposed by the label and their failure to understand or capture his musical vision, Holly made the bold move of severing ties with them. This decision, risky and unconventional at the time, was a clear statement of his unwillingness to compromise on his artistic integrity. It was a daring step for a young artist, especially considering the dominant role record labels played in the careers of musicians during that period. Following his departure from Decca, Holly embarked on a path that was virtually unprecedented at the time. He took on the roles of songwriter, producer, and performer, essentially overseeing every aspect of his music. This level of involvement was rare in the 1950s, a time when the music industry was heavily segmented with specific roles and responsibilities. By writing, producing, and performing his own songs, Holly became one of the first musicians to fully control his artistic output. Holly's approach to his music career paved the way for future generations of artists. He set a precedent for artistic autonomy, inspiring musicians to take charge of their creative journeys. His insistence on having a say in how his music was made, marketed, and distributed was revolutionary. This empowerment of artists in the music industry, a legacy of Buddy Holly's pioneering spirit, has had a lasting impact, enabling artists to pursue their vision with greater freedom and control. Buddy Holly's musical genius extended far beyond his mastery of the guitar and his memorable songwriting. He had a remarkable penchant for exploring and incorporating unusual instruments into his music, showcasing his deep love for unique and unconventional sounds. This aspect of his artistry is exemplified in his recording of Every Day, where he introduced the Celesta, a rare keyboard instrument, to rock and roll music. The Celesta, known for its ethereal, bell-like sound, was an unconventional choice in the rock and roll genre of the 1950s. Its inclusion in Every Day was not just an experimental whim, it was a deliberate choice that reflected Holly's constant drive to innovate and push the boundaries of what was musically possible in the context of popular music. The use of such a distinctive instrument demonstrated his willingness to blend different musical elements and his eagerness to explore new sonic territories. This approach was part of what made his music stand out and resonate with audiences, contributing to his status as a pioneer in the music industry. Another intriguing aspect of Buddy Holly's story is the saga surrounding his iconic glasses. After his tragic death in the plane crash, his glasses, which had become a symbol of his unique persona, mysteriously disappeared. For over 2 decades, the whereabouts of these glasses remained a mystery, adding a layer of intrigue to his already compelling legacy. The glasses eventually resurfaced in an unexpected place, a courthouse storage box. This discovery sparked a new chapter in the story of Buddy Holly's glasses, one marked by legal complexities. A dispute arose over the rightful ownership of the glasses, involving Maria Elena Holly, Buddy's widow, and his parents. This legal tussle highlighted the emotional and symbolic value attached to these frames, which were much more than a mere personal belonging. They were a tangible connection to Buddy Holly's legacy and an emblem of his distinctive style and impact on music and culture. The conflict over the glasses was eventually resolved, with the frames finding their way back to Maria Elena. In a gesture that honored Buddy Holly's memory and shared his legacy with the public, she donated the glasses to the Buddy Holly Center in Lubbock, Texas. This center, dedicated to celebrating Holly's life and music, now houses the glasses as a part of its collection, allowing fans and visitors to connect with a poignant piece of music history. Buddy Holly's life was characterized by much more than his public persona as a groundbreaking musician. Behind the scenes, his personal life was marked by complexity and intrigue, encompassing not only his career but also his family dynamics, childhood, and unusual interests. One of the lesser-known aspects of his life was the turbulent relationship with his brothers. Despite the musical beginnings that they shared in their family home, Buddy's rise to fame brought with it a sense of professional rivalry and personal disagreements. These conflicts, fueled by the pressures of success and differing ambitions, led to a strained relationship that, unfortunately, was never fully resolved. This aspect of his life adds a layer of human complexity to the image of Buddy Holly, showcasing the challenges that often accompany fame and success. As a child, Buddy Holly was not only academically gifted, but also known for his mischievous side. His knack for performing pranks is a testament to his playful spirit and creativity. While these antics may have been a source of irritation for his teachers, they endeared him to his classmates and highlighted a charismatic and lively personality that would later shine through in his music and performances. Another intriguing facet of Buddy Holly's personality was his interest in mysticism and the paranormal. This interest is evidenced by his collection of books on paranormal phenomena, indicating a curiosity and open-mindedness towards the unexplained and mysterious aspects of the world. This fascination with the paranormal was more than just a hobby. It reflected a deeper, more introspective side to Holly, who was known to the public primarily for his musical talents. One particularly eerie episode in Buddy Holly's life, involving his interest in mysticism, was his consultation with a fortune teller. The fortune teller ominously warned him to be cautious about his future, a prediction that Holly, at the time, did not take seriously. However, in hindsight, this warning seems chillingly prophetic, considering the tragic and untimely end of his life. This incident adds a layer of mystery and intrigue to Holly's story, suggesting a premonition of the tragic fate that would befall him. Buddy Holly's impact on the music world extended far beyond his life, leaving an indelible mark that influenced generations of musicians and reshaped the music industry. Even after his tragic death, his influence continued to resonate, inspiring an array of artists across various genres. One of Holly's most significant legacies is the influence he had on some of the most iconic musicians and bands in history. The Beatles, for instance, were profoundly inspired by Holly's music and style. John Lennon and Paul McCartney admired his songwriting skills and were influenced by his approach to music production. The name The Beatles was even chosen as a nod to Holly's band, The Crickets, showcasing the deep impact he had on them. Similarly, Bruce Springsteen cited Holly as a major influence, admiring his ability to convey complex emotions through simple, relatable lyrics and melodies. In recognition of his contributions to the music industry, Buddy Holly was among the first group of inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. This honor was a testament to his enduring influence and the high regard in which he was held by the music community. His induction into this prestigious institution was not just for his musical achievements, but also for his role in pioneering a new musical style and approach to the music business. Buddy Holly's legacy is also marked by his impact on the structure of the music industry itself. He demonstrated that artists could be more than just performers. They could be innovators and creators with control over their artistic direction. What do you think about Buddy Holly's life and career? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.